What's your take on CBD? We're just having this conversation.
I love it. Are we going to the Riverwalk?
Yeah.
I don't know too much about it, other than...
What's your thoughts, though? Just like what you know.
Beneficial.
Okay. See?
I'd say it's more beneficial. I'd say maybe there's like a 5% good case that you can make an argument against it, but other than that...
of CBD. I'm not
on
talking about
CBD.
weed.
On CBD.
What's the 5% against? What's your thoughts?
Well, just because I don't know the facts, so
Okay.
I don't know, but I would assume because I've heard arguments against it, but I don't know them offhand. So apparently, if people are making arguments that there should be some percentage
Coming
in
in
there, but
heavy
like
right now.
saying,
I'm coming in heavy.
I'm all for it too, man. And I mean, I just, and this is coming from firsthand experience. Not me telling you like a story from somebody else, but like stories that I've heard from personal people that I've had. There's a guy here.
Yeah, I got you. Okay.
There's a guy here in town that he's owned a water bottling company for many, many years here.
Yeah.
He started, his parents had it, and now he took it over from them. It's here in town, and they just made it possible. He said he's had to go through so much red tape to get it CBD infused water. Infused water, yeah.
They do that in London all the time, man.
Yeah, and well, I mean, Texas just had like a lot of red tape that he had to go through. He said December.
A lot of Republicans here.
Yeah, he said December. It just got passed to go that he was able to do it, but he's been doing it ever since, in different parts, in different areas where it's illegal. But his daughter had some sort of a seizure type activity, and that's why he's been doing it for a while now. But now
it helped her, right?
Yeah, because it helps, and that's a big thing I've heard with seizures for some reason.
Well, that's why he's talking about his dog.
Yeah, like I've got dogs that have arthritic conditions, and it's horrible. I give them CBD oil, and it's like
he's a new dog.
Yeah, like I said, I wish I was more in depth about it, but the majority, and this is like I said, more than 90% of information that I read is beneficial. So maybe there's some stuff out there that is against it, but I think it's not a solid argument.
Well, it's just like vaccinations, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people against vaccinations, but guess what? The majority of people are helped by vaccination. There's like a 0.01% who don't respond to vaccinations.
The people that are against vaccinations have been vaccinated.
The people that are
exactly.
against vaccinations. Oh, yeah.
Well, and guess what? There's always going to be a 0.01% of people who don't respond like normal people.
Yeah. Well, supposedly the information that people are getting for not anti-vaxxing is from a study that has been proven has been debunked.
Yeah, exactly. The standard, like that. Unfortunately, the internet is the best thing that's ever happened in the world, but sometimes it's the worst because people can just put shit on there that doesn't even matter. Like it's not based on science or anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was a conference here a couple of weeks ago, and it was like a surgeon type doctor conference, and so I picked up these doctors and I asked them about the whole anti-vaxxing and things like that, and
they're like, "Are you fucking kidding me with this?"
Yeah, I mean because I had read that a lot of like more cases like exponentially in the past recently.
It's gone up because people's not vaccinating their kids.
Not even measles.
Yeah,
measles
because they're not vaccinated.
They're not vaccinated,
and that's like a big issue. Because of the whole anti-vax thing. But I asked them about it, and they were like, and because I heard about the study that most of it is based off of, and they said that it's in their experience, a lot of them are reciting this article, this document, whatever it was, that has been proven for autism is what it is. That they're saying that if you vax your kids, that it could lead to autism.
Maybe in 0.01%.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe we don't know. And maybe the only thing I would suggest, if you believed in that, is just do vaccinations in longer increments. Maybe because you've had a baby, like she got vaccinated like a lot.
So we've actually held off, like we're not against vaccinations.
Yeah, you just like spreading it out, right?
We're extending it out just past that development stage.
Like I feel that's probably a good thing because
we've held off certain vaccinations because we don't send her to daycare. She's not in any schools.
Yeah, it's just like kennel cough for a dog, right?
Yeah, exactly.
My dog is just now getting kennel cough because I sent him to a kennel, a training kennel, right, to get trained because we're gone and like it's a good time. But I know he needs that
because you have to protect him.
Yeah, I got to protect him because he's gonna get it.
It's the same thing with my daughter.
But like other than that, like I know where he's at. He's not around other dogs. Like so, but it's like, you know, you need to do it, but maybe just spread it out because they can pump you full of shit, man. Like we're in the military, like they just fucking. Granted, we're older. Our bodies can probably take a lot more than a fucking baby who's just born into the world that hadn't even dealt with dust.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
They say children who have dogs have better immune systems. Like when you grow up with a dog as a child, you have a better immune system.
Oh yeah,
because you're exposed to some shit.
I believe that because my dog, like my daughter grows up with my dogs. I got 2 dogs.
Yeah,
they're all over the place. She's crawling all over.
Yeah, and
I've seen the shit they get into. Like
this sanitized world, cleaning up my baby is not good for them.
Their immune systems build up to a little bit more in a more controlled environment because you know where your dogs are. You know where your kids are.
That's like look at the polio vax. You got that?
Yeah,
like you get a live virus.
Yep.
You know, and you scab up and it's gross, but guess what? You know, you're exposed, so that way your body goes, I know what that is, I know how to fight it. Mm-hmm. Just like there's people who like get like beekeepers, they sting themselves, you know, and then they build up an immunity. Yeah. Or snake handlers, they give themselves a little bit of
your
dosage.
Body has to be exposed to certain things in order to build up an immunity.
Yeah, like you can't just live in a sanitized world. Otherwise, something will happen and you'll fucking die.
Yeah, it's funny how you're trying to avoid one thing, you're trying to like avoid the germ stuff, but like that's the opposite effect of what you're, you know, long term. It's a weird thing that
it's like when we were kids. They did chicken pox parties, man.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
He's got chicken pox. Everybody goes to a chicken pox party.
My cousin got it, and we were all in the basement. This is kids. Like, why are we all down here at the same time together?
This guy's got some fucked up shit going on, and now when I'm with
his face is fucked up, and I'm down here playing with him. Like, why is this happening right now?
What happened to you, Billy?
Exactly.
I've never heard about that before, but sure, okay.
I thought that was a white people thing.
No. I went through it too. My cousin got it, and then next thing I know, we were all in my grandma's basement just playing.
What the heck? That's crazy, man.
Kids, like,
because you might as well just get it out of the way, man. Like,
have fun.
And then everybody can go to the school like a week later, and everybody's good, man.
It's crazy when there's some, again, this is very few and far in between, but when adults have not had the chicken pox, it's so much worse for you.
It is a lot worse.
So, like, if there's a kid around the house, they have to be away. Yep. You can't be there because
the only thing about chicken pox is if you get chicken pox, you have the virus for shingles.
You have the what?
The virus for shingles.
Yeah, and you have to get a vaccination for that when you get older. I think it's like 50 something.
Oh, they have a vaccination for that now?
They have a vaccination for
that now. My ex-wife, she got shingles because she got stressed over my dog when we got her as a puppy. And she was so stressed out about taking her out and like making sure she was okay. She got fucking shingles.
My mother-in-law has shingles.
And she's only 30. She turned 34.
My mother-in-law got shingles. And the first thing they said, have you had the chicken pox before? Like, yeah, like... But when you turn this age, I think she was like, when she turned 50, they offered her the vaccination and she refused it.
See? Another example of refusing a vaccination.
Yep. She's like, no, I don't need that. And then she ended up with shingles.
Yeah.
Dang, wow. Well, you know what? It starts in a small group and then it picks up traction
it's like we were talking about earlier. It's like we're conforming to the minority of these fucking views that... No, we need to stop doing that shit. We were talking about like Berkeley. They just like I don't want it to be called a manhole, and I don't want it to be called men at work. And then he was talking about New York, and he was talking about like
if you go in the subway system, they don't say welcome ladies and gentlemen. They say welcome passengers, like because people feel
they identify as
they don't identify
as a unicorn.
Did they specifically change it because of that? Did they say
yes?
That's exactly why they changed it.
Oh, okay. Dang, yeah. Yeah, there's some new things that sure, like I'm like, okay, that's fine. We can move away from how we used to do things in the past because it just makes sense. And then now there's some new things now that it's like, hey man, you know what? We can chill out a little. We can push back a little.
No, listen, we're gonna conform to this man-woman thing, right? But we still haven't understood about racism yet. Yeah. Like, what the fuck are we talking about with this shit? We got shit that has been not solved forever. Like, what the fuck? We're so concerned with this, but we're not concerned about treating people like people?
That's a good point, actually. You know what? I haven't heard anybody bring up the fact that we're fixing a lot of these things, but
that literally are little things.
Yeah.
Like, you can shut up. Like, I will call you whatever you want to do, but like if I say, "Hey, sir," because you have a beard.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm sorry. Like, based on the information that I have of you, you're a sir.
Have you seen that video? It's ma'am.
Yeah, we were talking about that too. Fucking Hulk Hogan, man.
From what I see,
Oh,
The information that I have at hand,
Yeah.
you're a man. I'm sorry. But if you go, "Hey, I would like to be called a woman," I'll go, "Yes, okay.
Yeah.
Hello, ma'am."
I'm all for that.
I'm all for treating people the way they want to be treated.
Yeah, I'm all for that.
But like, if I call you sir, you need to calm down and just say, "Hey, actually, I prefer to be called a woman." Okay, well, no, that's fine. But like we got bigger shit to fucking solve before we get to that.
So like I have a daughter. She's 7 right now. In her school, there are kids. I've never told this to a kid's face before, but there's some boys that have long hair. They look like girls, and there's some girls that have short hair and they look like boys. I never said this to them in person, but I've talked to my daughter. I'm like, "Oh, who's your guy friend over there? Who's your your girlfriend over there?" And then she'll be like, "No, that's actually a boy, or that's actually a girl."
I was telling him my niece is 12 years old. She's got identity crisis right now.
Really? Oh my gosh.
12 years old. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, I love her, and I told her, do whatever you want to do. Like, I'm gonna love you no matter what. Like, you're my niece. Like, I don't, whatever. Like, But at the same time, I'm just like, what is going on here in my head? I'm not gonna throw that at her face because she's going through a lot of shit, man. Like,
to yourself. You do.
Yeah, but I'm like, what the fuck? She's 12 years old. And how old are you?
25.
Okay. Did you experience that when you were going to school?
So, I did not know. I did not. I do think that a lot of the issues now dealing with or facing younger kids, and maybe like at this point in time, middle
Social
school,
fucking media, and
elementary, is just because they're being not bombarded, maybe, but it's being presented to them. It's like, oh wait, I have the option to change myself, or I have it's there. It's a choice.
I mean, we all had the guy or the girl in our school that we knew was was like, all right, you're a lesbian. I can tell. Like, you're not gonna say it right now, but we know. Like,
right.
And then years later, you're like, yep, called that one a long time ago or whatever. But like, it's it's the best worst time in the world.
Yeah,
like, we got everything to our fingertips, but we're dealing with these little bullshit that doesn't fucking matter.
Well, to your point, there are these smaller issues that maybe matter, but should be pushed back behind other bigger important things.
The bigger important things, yeah.
Because I do hear a lot of
lasting 400 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never
we were talking about fucking marijuana and how they told they presented marijuana as a bad drug. Marijuana, the Mexicans, they're the ones bringing the marijuana, and then it got pushed off to the Mexicans, to the black, and then they're the ones that fucking and it's like that they criminalized it because they made everybody scared of it because they're like Mexicans and the black people are and it's like, fuck that, man. That's not even fucking true.
No, it's not.
Well, I know there's a lot of propaganda when it first.
It's all propaganda.
Yeah.
It's still propaganda.
I'm glad that now it's starting to get a little bit,
by 2025 it's gonna be legal.
People always ask me, they're like, when is Texas gonna be like, there? And I'm like, hey man, we're gonna be like the last 5 states.
Texas is gonna be the last.
Alabama and Mississippi are gonna be the last.
Oh yeah.
Alabama don't have a lottery. They don't have a professional team. They ain't got shit, man. Alabama, because I moved from Colorado to Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about a culture shock. I didn't even know what racism was, and then first day I was like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, I will never move back out to the South ever. Like, they're just generations behind, man. Like I just can't tolerate it. Like, I'm like, what are you fucking talking about right now?
There's a couple of things I think about that, but I think first and foremost, I think in maybe the motto is, if it's not broke, don't fix it. So like,
it's
why
broke?
Well, no, but not for them.
Yeah,
but not for them. So it's like, hey, we're doing just how we've been living for the past whatever years.
Yeah.
They're just gonna keep
when you
on.
survive for that long and you thought for that long and nothing's wrong.
It's all these old fucks who need to die off.
I do think that a lot of the laws that are in place now is just because of older generations, and I think when maybe like people that are in their like 30s or 40s right now take over into that area of the legal system, whatever it may be, then things will start progressing.
Not now, dude.
Yeah, Alabama.
We don't have a lottery. Everybody in Alabama goes up to Tennessee or goes to Georgia, and they're giving all Tennessee and all Georgia all that money. All that money. Just like alcohol. Have you ever lived in a place that had a dry county?
I've only heard stories.
They're giving every other county around that all the money.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, guess what? They're still going to fucking drink.
Yeah.
They're still going to drink. And they're just going to drink just as much. They're just going and giving all that money to somebody else's county. When that money, like, if you do it smart, like, you can put that money into good things. Like, a lot of lotteries go to schools and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I know we don't have enough time to talk about this next topic that is kind of to your point, but the whole lottery thing that goes back into the economy, or to your into your community, legalizing some sort of drug, like just speaking on marijuana, legalize marijuana. That way it goes, you use a tax or whatever to pay for certain things. Yep. Then on top of that, there's another issue regarding like prostitution, where it's like, hey man, like
totally 100%. There, other countries like Australia, they legalized prostitution. It brought down disease. It brought down divorce. It brought down a lot of shit.
Are you serious?
Absolutely.
Well, it's just statistically, safer, like you said, diseases.
When you're getting tested and
regulated,
when it's regulated,
so
you're not.
Yeah, it's not prostitution like just willy-nilly, but
I know is like
chicks
on the corner.
No, it's like the bunny ranch. It's like the bunny ranch, right?
Like
they
Vegas,
get tested and they get it's like it's a professional business. So Switzerland, I think it's Switzerland, they decriminalized heroin, right? And you'd go into this medical facility, they'd give you a clean needle, let you do heroin.
Are you serious?
They did it for 13 years, and in those 13 years, only 2 people continued to do heroin.
Heroin is one of the most addictive drugs.
That's a false. That's actually a false, right?
Yeah.
So addiction, it doesn't matter about the drug, it matters about your mental state, right? If you're depressed and that drug's giving you a little bit of something that makes you feel fucking happy, because your life is shit.
But heroin's a whole
dude. No, that's a propaganda thing too, dude.
Heroin is all about freaking chasing that first high, and
dude,
never get as high.
Do you guys have anywhere specifically you want to go
just
to?
Wherever, man,
before we keep
you
going.
Just pull over here, man.
But that is
there's research. Like, there's a lot of research about it, dude. Like, addiction is not about the drug. Addiction is about your mind state.
Well, I know addiction is about a mind state, but there are certain things that, like,
that are addictive.
Addicted, like, seriously, like.
This top guy right here, I was just talking to my brother about this. That top guy right there, you should actually watch that if you're interested in the whole the heroin talk, because that is like one of my favorite.
Name?
His name is Johan Hari.
Yeah, I think he was on Joe Rogan.
He was on Joe Rogan, twice.
And that's kind of what I was listening to.
See,
he talks about
maybe
that.
because of me, like I've seen a lot of shit. Like, I've grown up and seen a lot of shit, and I've known a lot of people addicted to heroin. I've known like a lot of like clean-cut doctors and lawyers.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean they're happy.
I'm not saying that they're not happy.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's something wrong if they have to find it, because basically they have to find an outlet. So basically, when you go to a drug, you're looking for an outlet for something else.
And that's a mental state.
That's a mental state. But fuck.
Hey, man. Hey, I was thinking about doing this podcast in Ubers, talking about crazy shit. Would you
This
subscribe?
would be an awesome podcast.
So I wasn't gonna ask you guys. That's so funny. I have one myself that I do, and I wasn't gonna use this one, but if are you guys okay? I have a dash camera, and so
absolutely.
Oh yeah, dude.
But yeah, no, I mean, whatever you do, I mean, I would definitely love to be on it.
What's yours?
Mine, it's called Precious Cargo.
Precious Cargo. Okay.
Yeah, you can check.
Is it on iTunes or?
First, it's on YouTube right now, and then I'm gonna move towards putting it on audio only, maybe like on Spotify or something. But I just started a couple months ago, so mine's called Precious Cargo. And then if you're thinking about doing something, man, I'm all about it.
All right, man. Precious Cargo.
Yeah.
Holla at your boy.
Precious Cargo.
All right, man. Thanks, man.
Thank you guys, man. You have a good night. I appreciate you guys.